When's the last time something was so stressful that you found it occupying your mind almost incessantly? That no matter what you did, it lingered, like a tiny voice inside your head, constantly bothering and weighing on you. For a while, since 8th grade started, the first thing that flooded my mind every morning was the overwhelming amount of schoolwork and homework and studying I had to do. From the moment I opened my eyes, I would haul myself from my bed and to my desk to take this weight of schoolwork off my back. But now, I wake up even earlier in the morning to do something else, something that eases the stress of schoolwork and provides me the strength to tackle it. I wake up to run. Yes, actually, to run. I can already see the wide eyes and hear the groans out there, thinking, running, really? And while it may not be everyone's cup of tea, running is something I love that has become my personal escape. It has transformed my mornings from ones filled with stress and anxiety to ones where I can free myself and regain control over my life. So why does this matter? Because stress isn't something I just face. It's something we all experience. In fact, stress levels have been rising. In 2022, 32% of US adults reported feeling more anxious than the previous year. In 2023, that number rose to 37%. And in 2024, it hit 43%. Even more concerning, 27% say that they feel so stressed most days, it impacts their function. And it's not just in adults. A 2004 study found that over 60% of students experience stress daily. Stress is rising. We need solutions. The solution I'd like to share with you today is discovering your personal escape. The first time I realized that running was my personal escape was on Sunday, January 5th, 2025. The day before, my family and I had just returned from winter vacation in Europe. 2 weeks of joy that quickly melted into stomach-turning anxiety on my flight home. But the stress didn't really hit until the next morning, when my parents casually brought up how school was starting again tomorrow. Then I felt this rush of dread throughout my body and the crushing weight of it on my heart. Then somehow I just started crying, just broke down. All that pressure that had been building up inside me exploded. The coursework in 8th grade had been feeling really tough to manage, especially the weeks before winter break started. I remember clinging on, telling myself that winter break was almost there. And then it finally came. 2 weeks with my family, 2 weeks in Europe, 2 weeks of walking through beautiful cities, visiting museums, trying new foods, shopping, 2 weeks where I woke up early in the morning to run with my dad. And then it was all gone. I was to return to the stress and pressure of life. Of course, my parents comforted me, gave me advice, but after breakfast, the first thing I did was return to my room to study, only to start crying again. Then my dad came into my room and told me that we were going on a run. With my sister too, who's in 6th grade and was handling the end of winter break much better than I was. So I changed, got into my running shoes, and still sniffling, went out to run. I've run with my family countless times in their neighborhood before, but on that morning, I realized that running was my personal escape. Because then I felt the iciness of the morning wind, the tempo of my heart beating, my blood pumping, the pavement beneath my feet. I remember feeling lighter. I remember laughing. I remember returning to my house feeling as if I was unstoppable, undefeatable, that even if I had exams tomorrow, I could handle it. I could handle anything. That is the power of a personal escape. Its ability to transform feelings of stress into feelings of strength. No matter what your personal escape is, it allows you to reset and return stronger. How? Because stress itself is not the problem. In a positive psychology lecture by Harvard researcher Tal Ben-Shahar, he says that stress actually cultivates strength and resilience and helps us become stronger in the long run. The issue is the lack of recovery. He explains that just like our muscles need rest in order to grow, our minds need break from stress. A personal escape acts as this necessary recovery period, preventing burnout and allowing us to recharge. So right now, I'd like to help you discover your personal escape with what I call the 3 R's: recognize, reflect, and ritualize. So the first R, recognize, as in to identify an activity that you naturally love. Think about a moment where you were truly immersed in something, when your mind wasn't racing with stress or anxiety. Even though many people associate running with pain, I find pleasure in pushing my body, feeling the combination of inhaling, exhaling, pushing my legs against the breeze, my footsteps on the ground below. Running anchors me in the moment. Your personal escape brings you into the present, shifting your attention away from stress and towards something fulfilling. The next step, the second R, is to reflect. This involves performing the activity you identified in the first R and reflecting on how you feel afterwards. This differentiates between a mere hobby and a true personal escape. Every time I finish a run, I feel invigorated. Running helps me acknowledge my strength and potential, motivating me to then face the pressures of life. Think about the activities you enjoy. Afterwards, if this activity has the potential to become your personal escape, you'll feel a shift in yourself. You'll feel stronger, calmer, or even more passionate. Now, the final step, the third R, is to ritualize, or incorporate this personal escape into your routine. I borrowed this term, ritualize, from another positive psychology lecture from Tal Ben-Shahar, where he talks about the importance of developing habits. One of these importances relates to the concept of self-discipline, and how our self-discipline is actually limited. However, rituals don't require self-discipline. For example, it doesn't take us willpower to brush our teeth every morning, because the behavior has become automatic. So how does this relate to a personal escape? Well, stressful days often reduce our willpower, making it harder to engage in our personal escape if it requires a conscious effort. In addition, developing your personal escape into a habit ensures that you can consistently benefit from it in the long run. For me, running became my habit because I incorporated it into my weekend mornings and my weekday afternoons. So what are some characteristics of personal escapes that make them easier to ritualize? Well, 2 key factors are accessibility and flexibility. Can your personal escape be done anytime, anywhere? And if it requires some extra preparation, is there a way you can simplify it so that you can turn to it whenever needed? And finally, in terms of flexibility, the best personal outlets are ones that can adapt to your daily schedule and energy levels. At the end of the day, stress is inevitable. What we all need is a personal escape that provides recovery. Recognize an activity that you love, an activity that you can reflect upon and see how much it resets and strengthens you. An activity you can ritualize. Find this activity because it will help you discover a simple truth about yourself. That whatever was so stressful that you found it occupying your mind almost incessantly, you can handle it. You can handle anything. Thank you.